Biodiversity means the different varieties of living things on earth. There are around 3 lakh species of beetles, 20,000 species of ants, 28,000 species of fishes, 20,000 species of orchids. Like that, every species will represent different varieties. Now, biodiversity, this term was popularized by Edward Wilson. He had described the diversity at different levels of organization. The important levels are, one is genetic diversity level, second level is species diversity, and then comes ecological diversity. Children, if you are not able to hear, tell me, okay? You can see the slide? Can you see the slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now the first is genetic diversity. Example, Rowolfia vomitoria is a medicinal plant and it produces the chemical called reserpine. But the potency means the power. The potency and the concentration of this reserpine varies from one variety of Rowolfia to another. They are growing in different regions of Himalayan ranges. So the same plant, though it is same plant, species is also same, but the amount of this reserpine produced varies from one place to another. This is an example of genetic diversity. Because maybe one Rowolfia is having a different type of genes, another Rowolfia is having different type of genes. That's why. Similarly, there are 50,000 genetically different varieties of rice and 1,000 varieties of mango that is India is having. So these are all examples of genetic diversity. The next level is species diversity. Species diversity means diversity at species level. For example, the amphibian diversity in Western Ghats is more than in Eastern Ghats. Amphibians means frogs and salamanders. Toad also comes in that. So that is more in Western Ghats, that you remember and keep. I have asked this in quiz. Second, now these are like... Now ecological diversity. Ecological diversity means diversity at ecosystem level. A place like Norway ecosystem is less diverse when compared to Indian ecosystem. Indian ecosystem, there are so much of variety like wetland, coral reef, rainforest, mangrove, desert, alpine meadow, estuary. Like that, India is having so many varieties at the ecosystem level. Whereas another country like a European country like Norway, their variety is less. They have only same type of ecosystem. So this represents ecological diversity. How many species are there? According to the IUCN Red List 2004, slightly more than 1.5 million species are there, but some are yet to be discovered. Robert May is estimating the global species diversity to be about 7 million. The interesting aspect about Earth's biodiversity is all these things. Among the plants, if you see, angiosperms are showing more species diversity than moss, ferns, algae or lichen. But even fungi has got so much of diversity. Different varieties of fungi are also present. Now among the vertebrates,
Yes.
Vertebrates starts from fishes. So fishes, next comes class Amphibia, then comes class Reptilia, then class Aves, last is class Mammalia. They are all vertebrates. So amongst the vertebrates, who is best? Fishes. Fishes represents more majority of species richness when compared to the other vertebrates. Second comes birds. Third reptiles. And then fourth mammals, and last is amphibians. So fishes will fare well. They have more different varieties of fishes. The animals, see, more than 70% of all the species recorded are animals, while plants comprise no more than 22% of the total. So if you see animals and plants, more percentage is represented by animals. 70% are recorded to be animals, only 22% are coming under plants. Amongst the animals, if it is invertebrates, insects are species rich. Fungi species diversity is more than total of fishes, amphibians, reptiles and mammals. But now the problem of all the figures which saw last is that they are not representing prokaryotes. They are not telling about bacteria. So that is one problem with the pie charts which we saw. They are only telling about other classes, not about the prokaryotes. The problem is that bacteria is not very easy to culture. Some of them are not able to culture in our laboratory. So they are not able to identify which bacteria it is. Now there is one statement, nature's biological library is burning even before we catalog the titles of all the books stored there. Actually in this case, biological library means they are comparing it to what, children? They are comparing it to what? Yes, tell me, what are they comparing this biological library to?
Ecosystem.
Very good. Very good. They are comparing it to ecosystem. Then they are telling like this, even before we catalog the titles of all the books stocked there, nature's library is burning. So the books represent what here? What is this books compared to?
Species. Species.
Good, very good. So this is one kind of analogy. Analogy means you compare something with another. Like mitochondria is compared to powerhouse of cell, like that, no, powerhouse, because it is having ATP inside. That is one example of analogy. This is also another analogy. So it means that even before we identify the plants and animals, they will become extinct because of our activities, because of human activities.